Last thing, big fight coming up this year, probably the biggest fight, Mayweather versus Logan Paul. I know whether you're a fan of it or not. What do you guys think overall about that
¿Qué tú piensas de la
matchup?
pelea entre Logan Paul y Floyd?
O sea, eso es más que una pelea de boxeo, es un show. O sea, no, en verdad no te sabría decir si eso le hace bien o no al boxeo, pero imagínate, yo creo que eso es un show. Más que una pelea de boxeo, es un show más que una pelea de boxeo.
It's not really boxing, it's a show. He doesn't know if it's good or bad. But boxing is a show, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's awful, but that's just my opinion. Like, what are you teaching these guys, right? Like, what are you teaching fighters about, or what are you telling fighters about their sacrifice, about all the years that they put into this, about that I can come up off the street and somehow I'm a pro fighter and get these opportunities and make millions of dollars? Or what about the guys who actually deserve it, who sat here and worked and sacrificed from 10, 11, 12 years old, for a guy to come up off the street because he's famous, to get in that ring and I just think it's offensive. You imagine someone did that in the NFL or basketball. You imagine somebody came up off the street, never played basketball a day in their life, and they in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Or somebody jumped in the Super Bowl, never played football a day in his life. Like, and he gets a ring, and he gets this, and he gets millions of dollars because, like, that's crazy. It's the only sport it can happen in. It's stupid. It tells you a lot about today's society and this Instagram world and the social media. It's awful. Awful.
It looks like the Tyson return though was very. I know it was against a former retired world champion and great all-time pound-for-pound great in Roy Jones, but it looked like it did good for boxing. Did he see that? Did he see the
¿Viste la pelea de Tyson? ¿Qué tú pensaste? ¿Tú crees que fue bueno para el boxeo? Por lo menos fueron dos boxeadores, ex boxeadores.
Sí, no, exactamente como él dice, que o sea, Tyson y Roy Jones son dos campeones retirados que, o sea, tal vez de los dos más grandes del boxeo en los últimos tiempos. O sea, ¿quién no conoce a Tyson? ¿Quién no conoce a Roy Jones? Tyson era un espectáculo, Roy Jones ni se diga.
¿Se miró bien Tyson?
Sí, o sea, fue un buen show, lo vio mucha gente. Yo en las redes sociales me di cuenta que hasta gente que no son normalmente fanáticos del boxeo estaban viendo eso.
Yeah, look, it was good because it was two former fighters who got in the ring. Everybody knows who they were. They're super famous. Who's more famous than Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, really? Tyson looked good for his age, and it sold very well, and everybody was talking about it.
Last thing, the pound-for-pound list is out there, literally from PBC to Top Rank. They all got their own lists. It seems to be a lot of favoritism from each one. What does he make about the rankings when he sees them, and who would he say is number one at the end of the day?
De libra por libra, todas las listas son diferentes. Top Rank tiene el suyo, PBC tiene el suyo. ¿Qué tú piensas de todas las listas diferentes y quién tú opinas que es el mejor boxeador libra por libra?
Bueno, como tú dices, o sea, cada quien tiene una perspectiva diferente de eso, de quién es libra por libra y eso, cada quien. Lo que sí me doy cuenta que por ejemplo, en el top 5 casi siempre son los mismos boxeadores que están ahí en el top 5, tú sabes, y eso es normal, cada quien tiene un punto de vista diferente de mirar la cosa.
¿Y para ti quién es el mejor?
¿Quiénes son?
Yo ahora mismo tengo a Canelo como número uno en el pound for pound.
He said, look, everybody has their own opinion. It's a matter of perspective. The one thing he sees is that the top 5 are generally the same between everybody. It's just a matter of what order they're in. For him, Canelo's number one. I think that, same thing with like the prospect of the year and all this and all that. Like, there's no like clear-cut like definition as to what you need to do to get there. And there's always seems to be an excuse or rationalization.
Could be the smallest thing, like your social media following,
Right.
your something like
whatever it is, it's
popularity.
never like it's all over the place, right? When you have the accomplishments and you have the best resume, then it's an eye test. When you pass the eye test, then it's the accomplishments. It seems to be like there's always an excuse of why not to give it to a certain person. I don't think it's debatable, and the fact that people debate whether it's Canelo or not is insane to me. Like, how is that a debate? Like, it's not even close. Like, if you ask me, Canelo's number one and Crawford's a distant second. But I don't think it's like relatively close.
He's kind of in a league of his own.
He's in a league of his own. He's in a league of his own. He's the most accomplished fighter in the world, period. He has the best resume in boxing, period. He has the best resume in boxing since, Manny Pacquiao.
So Pacquiao will be number 2 then, or 1, or...
No, Pacquiao I don't think is, right now, I wouldn't put him on the list. ¿Tú piensas que Pacquiao está en la lista?
Creo que sí, porque Pacquiao todavía está un boxeador que está activo y su última pelea también ha peleado con boxeadores buenos, siempre pelea con lo mejor.
He said for him Pacquiao's on the list.
Yeah. What number wants to throw?
¿Cómo qué número?
2 por el resume.
Sí, tal vez 2, 3 por ahí.
He's got him at 2 or 3. If he made the list, I'd probably have him at like number 10 right now, only because of his age.
Yeah, it's just the age. You don't want to still put that pressure on him to keep being on that.
He's done what he needs to do. He doesn't need to.
Exactly. That's pretty much what that is. Yeah.
I don't think he's done enough recently.
Yeah.
All time, of course.
Yeah.
Recently, I don't think he's done enough to be on that list.
And it's not like you want him to do more now to get back on that list. It's like,
if he fights again, wonderful. Wonderful. I love that dude.
Yeah.
If he doesn't fight again, it's all right, Like, he's a great fighter, and he's gonna be an all-time great.
Yeah, for sure. All right, last words for his fans, family back home.
Bueno, que estamos ready este año 2021 a seguir trabajando fuerte, a venir mejor que nunca y ofrecerle buena pelea a mi público y a toda esa gente que están apoyando aún.
He said, we're here to work really hard, and this year expect big things from me, and get the biggest fights for the best fighters in the world.
Anything you want to add? Send it.
For me personally, look, 2020, he showed me a lot. He sacrificed, and this is without question, more than any other fighter in 2020. He didn't go home. He didn't go back and spend time with his family. He didn't find excuses. When everything was closed, we were hopping fences to train.
I've seen it. It's crazy.
We were training in garages. So we never stopped. And while everybody went home to spend time with their family or found excuses why not to train, we found reasons to train, which is why we had such a great year in 2020. So with that kind of mentality, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit, because he had every excuse to go back home, and he didn't.
He could have phoned it in this year and been like, there's nothing
like
out
most
there.
other fighters did. Almost every other fighter went home when they got those calls. Why do you think you keep seeing the same fighters on every call?
People can't complain. Those are the only fighters willing to fight. Yeah. Credit to you too. You were on the phone making the moves, the calls, and a lot of work.
It was a team effort. It was a team effort. But I knew, because I know people. Forget about I know people, and I know that like when you give people a reason to slack off, they're gonna take it. So in times like that, when things are hard, that's when you make the biggest leaps in life, financially or in your career, because it's sink or swim at that point. And we did whatever we needed to do to make sure we were on top, and we did that, and thankfully it paid off big time for us.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a huge year this year, and God willing we can finish, with the title, and then next year, God willing we can be on the pound for pound list.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you guys.